It is another episode of Random Character Creation for the week. Yes, indeed. You got it, Mr. Grimm. We are going to be on character number 3 of 5 for the campaign. As you may be aware, we have a standard rolling procedure. We'll be following that guide, filling out this blank character sheet, and creating a story along the way. Yes, masks and plague doctor. I can stroke the beard, or I can think contemplatively as such. Well, you know what? I do what I can, Steel Dust. We have music playing. The microphone is on. You have a little bit of visual inspiration. Maybe we can even use this for the character that we're about to make. Let's find out. To begin, we're going to roll a percentile die and determine if the character is female 1 to 45, male 46 to 90, or a multi-class character like what we rolled last night, 91 to 100. 30, we have a female. We're going to roll a d10 for the race. Race 7, subrace 1. Okay. Next up, the alignment is going to be 2 percentile dies because we have good, neutral, evil, lawful, neutral, chaos. 2d100, hit roll. 8176. Okay. Next up, we have to determine with a percentile if the character is going to use any feats. On a 5, nope, this is going to be straight ability bumps. Now we determine the character's class. We can do that by hitting roll here or just pushing the button on the dice roller. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, we get a rogue. A rogue with a D3 archetype. 1. Oh, and we need to roll the level of the character. That's going to be a percentile. We did that right before the feats. Or we should have done it. 19. Let's take a look down here. 19 is going to be a level 6 character. Very good progress. Come back here. We turn a 3 into a 13. And we're going to roll this to determine which random background we have. A 2. Okay, let's fill in a little bit now. Race number 7 is a half-elf. Ooh, another half-elf. The multi-class evil character, might I add, that we generated was also a half-elf. And so, being a half-elf, we have sub-race, which is not really a sub-race, though we determined with the half-elves which side of their lineage do they seem to favor more, perhaps resemble more. With this half-elf, it'll be favoring her female heritage. There we go. Hi, Chris. Welcome. We're going through a fun process where we're going to pull numbers out of the mists and the ether of nothingness, and we're going to create a character and tell this character's story right in front of your very eyes. You're welcome to participate. You can ask questions along the way. Do you want to know what something means? Do you want to know how something interacts? Please feel free to interact in the chat. Share D&D stories if you want. Seek advice from me or other people. As well, there's some chat games that if you look down below, you could participate in and have a little bit of extra fun. Too bad there isn't a class that uses a lot of poisons and other such concoctions. Well, yeah, although really any class can do that. You don't. It's not really a specialty. Although having money is a superpower if Batman is proof, or there's Tony Stark. To use items and consumables, all you really need is money. Hi, Bobicus. Alright, with the alignment at 8176, we are a neutral character. Another true neutral character. Wow, this is rare, and I'm loving how this party's coming together. Right? We just trust ourselves to, what is the world going to give us? And let's work with what we have. And we can still tell a compelling story with that. Chris on Life, thank you very much. So Grim says that I should turn the music down just a wee little bit. And I'll do so. Okay. Tell me if that volume adjustment helps out some. You're going to ask for any input on a backstory that you made. If anyone from chat, yeah. Chris, go ahead and share it. We'll take a look at it and we can give you some feedback. As well, if you'd like, Chris, if you are on Discord, you are welcome to join us there, and you can post it there as well, or you can post it here tonight live, and we'll go over it. Now, class number 9 is a rogue, and let's see, archetype number 1 is a thief. Woo! Dark Wolf, thank you very much for the host. You just got some extra experience points. Next up is background number 2. Background 2 is a Charlatan. Boy, this works out with Rogue, right? On top of that, we have 6 different types of charlatans that we can be if we're rolling randomly out of the PHB standard. Let's hit a D6. We're going to be number 3, and this is going to be another placeholder. We're going to make a second round of placeholders. Next up, we're going to roll 2d8 for personality traits. 2 and 7. Then we're going to roll 3d6 for the ideal, bond, and flaw. 4, 4, 2. Very good. We are almost done with the randomization. There's just a little bit left. And that is to determine the height and weight that can be found here. They start at 4'9", and we're adding 2d8. We're going to add 4 inches. So we have 5 foot, 1 inch tall. We're going to take this same number 4 and multiply it by 2d4. We're going to take it by... Alright, so we're going to add 24 pounds to 110 for 134 pounds. Lastly, we're going to roll a percentile to see where in this character, in this person's life cycle they're at currently. 16, so not quite child prodigy, but definitely in young adulthood. Half-elves begin young adulthood around 20. And then they live to 180, so we have a pretty good spread here. So let's add in about we'll give about a 25-year spread, and we're going to add this to 20 to determine how old this person is. (16). So a very spry 36-year-old half-elf. It's a Google Doc? Yeah, that's fine, Chris. Your Lord Diaz in Discord? Alright. Hi, King. Welcome. The mask. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, do I have a mask? Is it... I don't know. Here I thought. Hey now, King. We can keep this PG-13. All right. We have everything we need from the random trait generator. Now we're going to start with the background, because that's going to give us skills and some other things that we don't want to be redundant with the race or the class. Charlatan. Specifically, we're going to look at 3. This is the scam. I insinuate myself into people's lives to prey on their weaknesses and secure their fortunes. So she's kind of the young blushing bride who ends up, getting divorces soon after, some alimony, or we'll go in and perhaps romantically attract people and take their money, that kind of a thing. Yeah, you wouldn't want any of those 36-year-old young adults being badly influenced. Reminds you of the Bloodsuckers off Darkest Dungeon. Alright, so I'm going to keep the number 3 there, just as a reminder of what she does. Now, her background is that she has a false identity. You have created a second identity that includes documentation, established acquaintances, and disguises that allow you to assume that persona. Additionally, you can forge documents, including official papers and personal letters, as long as you have seen an example of the kind of document or the handwriting you're trying to copy. We don't know what half-elves under 40 are reading this. That's true. They have very pure, slightly pointed ears, King. Personality trait number 2. I have a joke for every occasion, especially occasions where humor is inappropriate. And 7, I keep multiple holy symbols on me and invoke whatever deity might come in useful at any given moment. Now, Grim, are we talking a knee slapper or like a knee slapper? Yeah, King was just making fun of the character. Since half-elves live longer, their young adult phase can stretch out a little bit longer. Uh-oh, Kobold Mage is after Mr. Grimm. Worth 75 EXP if you can take it down. Look at that. Boom, Kobold Mage is slain. What is her ideal? Good question. That is number 4. Creativity. I never run the same con twice. That's how you get caught. This is chaotic. She is true neutral, but we can still work this into her character by being neutral. She's trying different cons. She's spreading out her abilities and her talents. She's learning from each one. She's a leaf on the wind. Oh, Dark Wolf, sorry. Chris, you won't have enough experience points just yet to be able to go into the tomb. Yeah, that's, Forest and Plains are for babies. Yeah, those are the easier ones to go through, Chris. Okay, so Chris, you're attacking with disadvantage, so you're going to write exclamation point 2d20 into the box and hit it, and we're going to add a +2 and see if you can still overcome this ward. Yep, look at that. Nice. So you get 50 experience points. Whoops. Your EXP, King? So after Misty, oh, you went through the dungeon. Sorry about that. I missed that. So you got that was so King was going through the dungeon. You needed a 12. You got a 12, okay, and you're gonna get 200 experience points. There you go. And as for Grim, worth 250, and you get it. Nice. Yep, see you later, King. There is a cooldown. Her bond is 4. I come from a noble family, and one day I'll reclaim my lands and title, pardon me, from those who stole them from me. And lastly, her flaw, because we're all flawed creatures. 2. I'm always in debt. I spend my ill-gotten gains on decadent luxuries faster than I bring them in. Whoa. But this is good story bait for your DM for this character. Grim's going into the dungeon. What is going to happen? You attack normally. +2 modifier. Okay. 11 or greater. Show me that 50-50. There you go. Cool. All right, so now, are we starting to get a feel for the character? Are we starting to, go through, and we're seeing a vague outline now that we've generated numbers, but what do the numbers mean? Let's use our psychic powers here. Let's materialize her. We are going to get deception and sleight of hand as background skills. As well, we are going to get proficiency with a disguise kit. And a forgery kit. We are also going to get a set of fine clothes, a disguise kit, tools for the con of your choice, 10 stoppered bottles filled with colored liquid, set of weighted dice, deck of marked cards, or a signet ring of imaginary duke. Well, in this case, it's not so imaginary. So we'll go with some sort of like a charming potion, right? As she tries to, she insinuates herself into people's lives to prey on their weaknesses and secure their fortunes. So that could be some kind of, like a lover. Perfumes for her con. And a belt pouch, which has 15 gold. Apparently, crime pays. Dark Wolf enters the dungeon. You triggered the alarm. The alarm was pretty savage last night, I'll tell you what. Disadvantage. Oh no. The alarm goes off and Dark Wolf is captured, being held prisoner in the dungeon. Oh. Try not to. Yeah, if you all want to give Chris any feedback on the story, if he put it up in the Discord, Give it a look over, ask questions. You know, we'll be very honest. You know, if there's something that seems glaring or something that needs coverage, or if something's really good, let's talk about it. For me, Chris, what I can do is look at that when we take our break after completing this character, and then I can give you some feedback in part 2, okay? Yeah, and clanks a gold piece against the guards. If only were here. Okay, we have a good foundation for the character. Now we're going to go up to races, and bip, there's our half-elf. Couple standard things. We are going to get a speed of 30 feet. We are going to get dark vision out to 60 feet. Again, if any of you need explanations on this, I'm only putting the names of the features down, not the entire text. So if you need to know what something does beyond just the placeholder name, let me know and I'll go back and explain it in full. We also share a Fey ancestry, which gives us some nice resistances. We're going to pick 2 skills in which we're proficient in addition. And we can speak, read, and write Common, Elvish, and an extra language. Common, Elven, and I think due to the nature of what we have going on here, I think Thieves' Cant might work out really well. All right. We are also going to increase our charisma by 2, and we get to increase something else by 1. We're probably going to throw that in dexterity, simply because that's really going to come in handy for us being a thief. Actually, you know what? We get Thieves' Cant by being a rogue, so we're going to get, actually, an extra language of some other kind. What can we put in? Let's continue to build her, and we can always go back and fill this in after the fact. Don't rogues... Yeah, rogues get them from their class. Yep, you are absolutely correct, Chris. And we're going to remember to take the 2 from being a half-elf. We're done with this. Now we're going to come down to classes and go down to Rogue. 6th level character, so this is what we're looking at here. Yeah, the DM wanted to really, wanted a really thought out backstory. Okay. Oh, okay, ooh, we have some dungeons going through here. Mr. Grimm is going through a dungeon trying to rescue. Sets off the alarm again. Does he get it? 12 and 15? Bada boom. Look at that. Mr. Grimm makes the rescue from the dungeon. And that is worth 300 EXP. Nice. Chris, coming through the plains again. A scarecrow jumps out. You need a 9 or greater. You're rolling at disadvantage. So Chris, you're going to have to wait a second because it looks like Mr. Grimm tried rolling almost at the same time. So go ahead and give it another try and see if it'll roll for you again. I think there's something like just a couple second cooldown on that. There we go. 12 and a 1, and you're attacking at disadvantage. Oh no! Chris, you fall on your weapon, and I think we might have a grave on the side of the road going through the open plains here. So Chris, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 50 points, Chris, and I want you to spend that on an exclamation point res, please. R-E-Z-P-L-Z. All right? So, exclamation point R-E-Z-P-L-Z for res, please. And let's see what you get brought back to life as. Hey, there you go, Chris. You came back to life. So there may have been a glitch, but now you're a female mole barbarian. Congratulations. Okay, so we have some extra stuff here. Our hit points are d8s, so we're going to indicate that. We're going to have 68 hit dice. Drop this down, 68 hit dice. We get some proficiencies with light armor. We also get proficiencies with simple weapons, hand crossbows, long and short swords, and rapiers. We also get proficiency with thieves' tools. Our saving throws are dexterity and intelligence. And we get 4 skills from the following. So really we're going to get to pick out 6 skills because 2 are going to come in from us being half-elves. So there you go, Chris. You can have fun role-playing that if you want. Acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth. Okay, to help us choose which skills she'll have, let's look at her personality. What would she use in order to pull off these cons? She already has deception, and she has sleight of hand. If she needs to pickpocket or something along those lines. Black Clover. Oh, for a suggested anime. All right, hey Chris, sell Mr. Grimm on Black Clover. On Black Clover. Someone like this also then would have probably performance and persuasion. She's gonna be a face type rogue, right? Very social, operating in social circles, very manipulative as well. So we still have 4 more to choose from. Stealth will probably be important. I like the mask. 3 more. She's probably good at bullying people, because that's a way that you can get out of certain situations, right? You apply the pressure and you... more like a mask rather than a face type rogue, right? Let's think here. Let's think very closely. We get 2 more. Insight is very good because you can read people's minds and emotions and maybe understand subtle context in their words. And perception would probably be another good one as well to have, so she can be on the lookout for, things and stuff. Perception, insight, since she manipulates people to understand their weaknesses. You got it, Chris. I think we were on the same wavelength. I only just saw that. Yeah. This is meaning that we're probably going to need to make her wisdom a tertiary stat. Okay, that said, why don't we... We can get rid of this. Why don't we start dropping in some scores? We could do something like... If we put a 15 there and a 14 here, those two will equal out at 16. Then we can put a 13 in her wisdom. Probably having some knowledges open might not be a bad thing. Having hit points? Is she kind of beefy? Maybe. Or do we give her strength even? That could be interesting too. And then we just give her average intelligence. Now, she's a con artist, though. She needs the intelligence. Let's roleplay through this. We'll keep her hit points neutral, and we can give her... she's not the strongest character, physically. Bubonic. Hey, Maddie, that mask is exactly like one of the ones you can choose on Hero Maker. Oh, is that on... so, yeah, Hero Maker was that miniature site that a couple of you were saying that you build your characters somewhat literally off of. cool. I appreciate you letting me know about that. She'd probably be somewhat charismatic, yeah. Especially by being a half-elf here. So, when we add in the ability modifiers, this bumps up to a 16, and that bumps up to a 16. Bada boom, look at this. And we're also going to get to add in 1 ability score improvement, or ASI, because she's past level 4. This means that we can bump up 1 score by 2, or 2 scores by 1. Now, Charisma's pretty high. I'm going to be in the camp of bumping up her dex to 18 to make her a little bit more dodgy and a little bit more offensive, just in case. Chris, you will not be able to do the same dungeon that was just run for a minute globally, and you cannot repeat the same dungeon that you did for 5 minutes. Hopefully that... it's fine, don't worry about it. So, Grim is on a rampage. You need an 8 or greater. Alright, so Grim is going to get 125 from that. And Grim going to get... Oh, with the 13 and 13, nice. So 125 plus 150 is 275. There we go. Bubonic, looks like to get a weasel, I'm gonna have to play a fairly good amount of money for a single run make. Oh, gotcha. Something custom there. You know, Bubonic, I almost want to say you should be able to find plans or even commission something or someone to be able to just whip something up in a 3D like save file format, and you could just 3D print one. You know, if you don't have one, or you know, around your town, a lot of libraries have them. There's a lot of vocational schools in the area. For instance, the vocational school around my area, they have what's called the Fab Lab, or fabrication laboratory, and all they ask you is to pay for the cost of materials, which is rather cheap, but you can bring in 3D model, you know, like a thumb drive with the blueprints on it, and it'll build it for you, and you just have to pay them the cost of the materials. So that might be something for you to give a try. Oh, look at that. Mr. Grimm is on a rampage. Yeah, customs are expensive. I mean, because they have to distribute the cost over things, right? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have our skills. We have our scores. Our proficiency bonus, being 6th level, is a 3. This is going to be a -1. This is going to be a 4, a 0, a 1, a 1, and a 3. Bobicus says you just ran a session today. They saved the kobolds after a difficult combat and were able to keep them alive when a Commodon, a leopard thing, snuck up on the party at night, intent on eating up some of the kobolds. Ooh. This was the paladin that made that pact that it was a 1-for-1 kobold for a party member, right? Chris... Oh, okay, yeah, so Chris is... if any of you are just joining... Chris No Life joined us on Discord and posted a backstory, and he's looking for some input on it. So if any of you wanted to give a little look over for the backstory and get back to him, I told him I'd do it during the break as well. But this is a discussion, and everyone has different opinions. It looks like he's really open to anything, you know, constructive criticism, suggestions, or even just a compliment like, yeah, man, that's really solid. Yep, 6 lives for 6 lives. 3D art program. Well, I wish I knew someone who had such a program. You know what, Bubonic? You should ask Rowmonger. If Rowmonger stops into the chat, let me see if he's in here. I mean, he'd probably say something if he was. But if Rowmonger comes on, he has a lot of computer-assisted drafting, some CAD stuff, and he might be able to direct you over to some kind of a resource. And of course, Microsoft Paint has 3D capability now, because honestly, if you've looked, it even has just commands, presuming that people might have 3D printers. You might be able to find a way to build or a file to load into MS Paint 3D and go from there. Bobicus says, now they're level 3 and I'm thinking I should give them some opportunities to feel powerful. I've been beating them up a lot. Yeah, man, you know, if they just hit their archetypes, you want them to be able to flex those powers a little bit. I would agree with that strategy, Bobicus. Alright, we're going to get some more things here. Specifically, we're going to get a rapier, a short bow and quiver of arrows, or a short sword. I don't know, chat. Do you think that she should get the short bow? Like, do you see her doing some arching? Or do you see her maybe like a two-weapon fighter, right? We have a rapier and a short sword. What are your thoughts? I like the secret society aspect. Hey, look, a Daedric sword. Then a burglar's pack, a dungeoneer's pack, or an explorer's pack. Probably a burglar's, so she can get around. She can do that rooftop work. She can eavesdrop to try and find secrets to hold against people. Bubonic wants to know what level the sword is. You think she'd be all melee? She's always up close, so if needed to defend herself, she wouldn't have a bow on her. You know, that makes sense, Chris. And I appreciate it. And again, welcome to the chat. I'm so happy you're participating. These characters are not my characters. These characters are our characters. We're telling a story. We're building these characters, these actors, to go through a module or a campaign that we're making every week, and we're exercising our brains in storytelling. So I welcome your opinions, and others might want to agree with you, even if it's a non-committal carrot in the chat, something like that. Dark Wolf getting her, dusting herself off, getting back up. 75 EXP on the line. If you can take down the lion. Can she do it? Can Dark Wolf overcome the lion? You attack normally, so that's a 1d20. Stops on 11. You got there. Nice. And you have a nice lion skin rug now. There we go. Chris, you gotta wait a minute. Well, it's either been a minute because Dark Wolf just went through it, or it's been 5 minutes since the last time that you had been through. Alright, expertise is something we get. We're actually, I think, going to get this twice. Yep, and at 6th level. Oh my goodness, good golly gracious, we are going to get to choose 2 of our skill proficiencies, or a skill proficiency and Thieves' Tools. Well, I kind of see Thieves' Tools as being one that we do, just so she can get in. But we're going to have skill, and Thieves' Tools. So, Chris, Bubonic, Bobicus, anyone out there in Chatland, what are the 3 skills that you think that this character would want to develop an expertise for? Yeah. I get what you're going for there, Grim. Don't worry. Yeah, well, you know what, Dark Wolf? You get one of those Japanese ones that, the little, the futon wands. Chris is going through the plains. 6 and a 2. Oh, unfortunately, Chris. Bum, bum, bum. And Bubonic. Bubonic gets the comet. Oh. Okay, so Bubonic, if I will increase your reward for the next encounter you go through, Bubonic, and I will make it commensurate with the level. So if you go through the plains, I'll give you a little bit of a bonus. If you go through something harder, I'll give you a lot more of a bonus. Bobicus is thinking the whole, you think insight works because of the whole insinuate into people's lives thing? Okay. Here, yeah, I'll scroll up a little bit too. So I do have a, yeah, Chris, that is the deck of many things. Okay, so I have a vote for insight. Now we get two more skills on top of insight that we can have her be an expert in. Or in which she can be an expert. Because you never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Oh man, bubonic, going into the mid-tier dungeon, you end up defeating, or you overcome the falling rock by dodging out of the way, and I will give you some nice bonus XPs. Deception to go along with her face? Okay, yeah. She definitely is into deceiving people. So we have insight and deception as nominees for skills. Hey, Rowmonger, we were actually just talking about you. And in good ways at that. Rowmonger, Bubonic was looking for maybe some resources on creating his 3D weasel character. And I know that you do a lot of 3D stuff, so you might be able to point him in a direction. Mr. Grimm, I wish for a good job, a good wife, and a lifetime supply of orange soda. Oh, 2 votes for deception, 1 for stealth, and a persuasion. Oh, I'm sorry if I missed a persuasion. I think persuasion could work too. That seems pretty solid. So let's do that. Persuasion, deception, and insight. Rowmonger, that was Bubonic 1. Bubonic has a weasel character. Bubonic, do you want to talk to Rowmonger about that? That's an opportunity for you to maybe get some heads up on the special mini you were looking for. Otherwise, he said it was going to cost a lot of money to get it through Hero Forge because it was a one and done. Pardon me. Alright, so, Burglar's Pack. Leather armor. It's probably going to have a very select cut if she's trying to be the seductress here. Leather armor and Thieves' Tools. And then we have a dagger X2. Oh, and we went with the, actually we went with a short sword as well. Very cool. This is going to be a +7, and wouldn't you know it, a +7 out of nowhere. 1d8 plus 3 piercing. 1d6 plus 3 piercing. And 1d4 plus 3 piercing. Well, Chris, she is definitely going to be the up close and personal type. One of those print 3D things would work, but I can't afford a 3D art program. Yeah, so because you do a lot of 3D work, I figured you might know a good resource for someone like Bubonic, who's looking for this kind of interesting oddball mini. But he doesn't have access to some of this stuff. Okay, we're going to get some more interesting things. We have our expertise. We, of course, get our... We're going to put it over here for attacks. Our sneak attack, which is... Good golly gracious. In Discord a couple days ago, I don't know if any of you were in there or saw it, but... we had a discussion how rogues in 5th edition, especially like a thief type rogue, is very flexible in a party and is arguably an excellent tank in 5th edition. Maybe her other language should be Dwarven, since she is going to want to be able to talk to as many people as possible. So since she already knows 2 of the common languages, all she would still need is Dwarven. That could be Mr. Grimm. We could also think of something like, well, that brings up a gold digger joke, doesn't it? If it's Dwarven. We could also look at something like Draconic. right? If she wants to move in the upper echelons, because Draconic, as I run it and as the book kind of describes it, Draconic is the language of dragons, but it's almost like how a lot of fantasy novels or like a Harry Potter, how their magic is in Latin, and Draconic is kind of like the Latin, as I consider it, the Latin of common, or the Latin of, it's a mother tongue to a lot of these other languages. So something like that could show that she has an education of sorts. But I do like what you're saying, Mr. Grimm, as well. I'm not going to poo-poo that idea. Rowmonger hand makes his minis. All the programs I have to do 3D work, I have through work. Tell me what the PC looks like. Yeah, because rogues can kite, rogues can climb, so you have some 3D stuff. They have all this damage mitigation. It can just be absolutely bananas to have a rogue tank. Undercommon, if she does like shady dealings with those in the Underdark, I think Dwarven would be cool. Okay, well, you know what? She is a bit of a gold digger. I think we'll go with Dwarven. Alright. Get Thieves' Cant. Then we get Cunning Action. We'll get our archetype. I'm not going to worry about that. We also get Uncanny Doge. And we're not quite at Evasion yet. She's almost there. Okay. Here's our Thief. We get Fast Hands. Starting at 3rd level, you can use a bonus action granted by your Cunning action to make a Dex Sleight of Hand check to use your Thieves' Tools to disarm a trap or open a lock, or take the Use an Object action. And we also get some second story work. Whoops. Uh-oh, did I fat finger something? I think I did. There we go. Alright, we can climb faster than normal. Climbing no longer costs extra movement, and in addition, when you make a running jump, the distance you cover increases by a number of feet equal to your dexterity modifier, which is going to be good because her strength isn't up there. A gnomish, never trust a gnome. You know what? This actually brings up a good point. Maybe we should swap her strength with her con, right? So she does need at least an average strength to do some of this stuff, especially if she wants to. She's not the best cat burglar ever. That's not her angle. But if she's going for this, if she's operating maybe in a city or something, maybe her constitution is frailer and she expects other people around her to protect her. And this could help explain why, so she's okay at jumping. But I don't know. What do you think? Should we swap her strength and her con? I'd love to hear your ideas. Yeah, she's not messing with a broke dwarf, nor a broke Duergar. Cool, Bubonic. I hope that you and Ro can work something out. What else do we have? The second story work, and then we don't get Supreme Sneak just yet. You feel strength wouldn't be necessary. If she has to get physical like that, then she has already failed, Okay, no, I understand that, Chris. Yeah, so Ro, it is a weasel character. I'm sorry if I said ferret or something before. He may or may not be an awakened weasel. Yeah. Ro's got this. Tap, 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 tap. Boom. Alright. Well, if we're sticking with this, and I don't hear a counter argument, we can drop in some of our things here. Now, she has expertise, and so this is going to add double proficiency to persuasion. So this is going to be a 6 plus 3 is 9. And the same is going to be put into deception. There we go. And insight is going to be a little bit less, not too bad. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Well, it'll be a little bit more than that. So one, it's going to be 7. There we go. Yeah, there's a whole story to this character, Rowmonger. And if any of you in chat are wondering what Bubonic's talking about, I promise you there is a story behind why there's an awakened weasel. And that's not just me trying to be lewd. -1. Dexterity 3 + 4 is 7, at least last I checked. Constitution is a 0. Intelligence is going to be a 4. Wisdom is a 1. And our char is going to be a 3. Thinking of converting a Skaven from Warhammer Fantasy and green stuffing a hood and mask on him. Oh, good. Bubonic, I'm just imagining Rose gears are turning and just all this is happening. Acrobatics. Dun, dun, dun. We have a 4. And we have a 7. And we have a 7. Animal handling is whiz, 1. And 1. And 4. And 1. Arcana is int, 1. 1. 1. Sound like I'm going down the Giants name list in Game of Thrones here. 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1, 1. And boom, look at that. Oh, boom, look at that. Just don't look at this one, please. Passive perception is 10 plus our modifier. It's going to be a 14. That's not too bad. Uh-oh. Oh, by the way, this is something else you can do, Chris No Life. You can also duel a specific chatter if you want and just go for their EXP instead of trying to fight monsters. Or you can bid at least 100 experience points with ! battle, space, and the number. You can either do all, or it has to be a number that's 100 or above. Oh man, this character is really coming together. Oh, and also since we have our Constitution modifier, we have our hit point maximum, so that's going to be 8 at first level. Then we're going to go half plus 1 for her other remaining 5 levels. So that's 5 times 5 is 25, plus 8 is 33, unless my math is failing me. Plus 4 initiative, because that is her dex mod, and she's wearing leather armor, which is an 11. We add her dex mod, so she has, bada boom, 15. There we go. We're done with these stats, so this means that we can start thinking about a name for her. Now, mind you that she favors her elven side a little bit more, so maybe she has an elven family name showing that she was born into an elven family from a human or something along those lines, instead of the other character, which was born into a human family from an elf, if that makes sense. Chris didn't die again from the lion. Did I miss something, an adventure of yours, Chris? Did I not give you some EXP or something? Oh, I'm sorry that I missed it. Thank you for bringing it up to my attention. So yeah, you, oh no, wait, hang on. Did you, you needed a 10, you had disadvantage? Oh no, and you rolled a 6 and a 2. Okay, so rip on that, yeah. Well, so Chris, there's not, at this point in time, there's not like a character that you are, you know, that you have to come back as. That was just a fun way to have you come back, interact with some of the chat commands. So, you know, it's up to you. If you get some points and you want to pull from the deck or do a res please, you can always do something fun like ! Who goes there? That's a fun one too. You just lost an arm or two. Yeah, you know, no big whoop. Alright, we're not going to have to worry about page 3 because she doesn't use any spells. Now, page 2 will get filled in, just not right now. There are a couple things that I would like to have you all consider. Yeah, Romonger, thank you for asking. Please, go ahead and post a link up and I presume this is one that is in regards to what you and Bubonic One are talking about. However, I would imagine too, if anyone's interested in 3D modeling, Row is a good source of information on this. And heck, I might even want to open that up and take a peek at what you're doing. Oh yeah, okay. Something like that would be the start. So, Bubonic, what do you think of that? All right, while you're looking at that, and while there's some duels and other things going on, we have pretty much a done character. I would like your input on eyes, skin, and hair, as well as a character name. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up, I'm going to do a little stretch, I'm going to drink some tea, we're going to take like a 5-10 minute break. I have a transition slide we'll go to, so no worries on that. And I'm going to set some stuff up in the background because the next thing we're going to do is look at our 3 characters that we've made so far, and we're going to generate some kind of terrain or a biome around it so that we can contain our adventure. A trap for every rat, a burnin' for every vermin. Welcome back, King. King, you came back just in time for a short rest. Aww. Okay, we're going to get started here in just a minute. Oh, goodness. That's a good stretch. Oh, snap. Del Corin's here, everyone. Watch out. Well, Del, you joined us just in time. We finished our character, our third character, and now we are going to take a look at what kind of terrain we're going to generate for our adventure. Romonger says, almost finished sculpting Newsten. She was a pain to make. For anyone who's new here, for instance, Chris, Romonger just recently started playing 5th edition, has a lot of experience in 40k and other, modeling like that. Had a bit of an accident with the Deck of Many Things, and his male dwarven tinkerer turned into a female tiefling. Delcorn wants it rough. 10 and 16. Oh, Del coming onto the scene. Random forest. Bada boom. Wins some 200 experience points. Yeah, good start to the night indeed. And the Deck of Many Things are fun. They're fun, but they can savage a campaign like nothing else. Grim still wins, even at disadvantage. Delcorin gets the skull. Oh, no. Well, I'll tell you what, Delcorin. If you can beat the random tomb, I will give you bonus EXP.